Okay, so I realize as I'm trying to put this in my head about the position, I was hearing things that are happening now and things that are gonna happen, and so I need y'all's help in me clarifying. So I did hear zero tolerance. He has zero tolerance, the senator does, for people coming across the border without proper documentation and without coming through an authorized port of entry. So we heard that. I then heard it sometimes, he did say, I'm against families being torn apart, but I felt there was waffling on that because I was asking for, are you against it under every single circumstance? And he couldn't say, he's like, yes, but.
Well,
and so the but was, give me the buts.
The first but, because he is concerned about human trafficking.
Right.
So his first but were like, not every group of adults and children would be kept together because they want to make sure that the children aren't being trafficked. The second but is that with zero tolerance, he still believes in people being detained, but he is trying to find, his legislative solution would be that the families get detained together.
And he's unwilling to speak out against it now because he's working on the legislation solution.
Yes. And so, and I did hear that. It just didn't go as far as I wanted it to go.
Well, and so for me, I was hearing kind of what you're saying, like he was having to work within the legislative bounds. I think the phrase that we kept hearing was kind of governing within the political realities that we're living in. And what I don't feel like the question was answered was how this policy is living within that, when I think we could just say no more to the policy. Did you guys hear an answer on that?
I don't think he ever answered that.
Okay. It doesn't require legislation.
It doesn't. We don't need legislation. We just need it to stop being in the policy.
The policy
can stop
be
now.
enacted, just like it was in April and prior.
Or they don't even have to come up with all this legislation. They, as a body, can say 2/3 of us say it is wrong for the executive branch to make policies like this.
Right.
That's all that needs to happen.
And they're
but he
unwilling
wasn't willing to say that, and I kept saying, like, look, I want a senator to stand up and have a strong backbone and say this is wrong, and we know that it's a complex issue, but right now we can solve this one.
Right. And I would also say that he hadn't known about instances where there was Homeland Security that wasn't that was blocking ports of entry as well. So it's difficult to know if there is actually at this point a legal way for people to come across the border. I was confused about that as well.
And I thought he was. I mean, we were all confused about that one.